Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Darkside Phil, and welcome to my Sony E3 2016 press conference recap and my impressions. And holy crap, man, Sony has done it again. Like, I don't know how they stay on this crazy roll ever since the announcement of the PlayStation 4 2013, right? That was 4 years ago. These guys are just on fire. Every year they seem to know exactly what it is that people want to hear. And although admittedly, in this year's conference, they didn't necessarily give us as much concrete info as we might have liked. They gave us enough new information, new games, new IPs, returning IPs, crazy shit that, like, there's no way that I could say it in good conscience that any of the other guys who've done a press conference so far have beaten Sony. Sony blew this out of the fucking water. Let's start, okay? So first of all, my air conditioner's on if you're wondering what that sound is. It needs to be on because it's over 80 degrees in here. First of all, close my laptop so I don't get distracted. They open up with crazy orchestral music. And you're like, what the hell could this be for? Something epic's coming if they're playing this kind of music, right? And it has to be said that Sony, again, knowing exactly how to do a proper press conference, unlike EA, unlike fucking Ubisoft, these idiots who don't know anything about what their audience wants or who they're trying to actually advertise to. What do we want? We want games. We want it to move fast. We don't want bullshit. They had almost no talking whatsoever in the entirety of their press conference. It was just movement, action, trailer, gameplay, which is what we want. Okay? So, first they open up to this epic, like, 2 to 3 minute orchestral music. It sounds ominous. These guys singing, and this girl, what the fuck could this be? They open up, and it's a kid, looks like it's prehistoric times almost. He's going into a hut. And you hear this voice, you're assuming it's a guardian or a father in the background saying, I'm going to teach you how to hunt, and that's your mother's knife, grab it. All of a sudden he walks out of the shadows, it's fucking Kratos, but he's old. He's an old man, he's got this longer, darker gray beard. He looks way older than he did in any of the other God of War games. And now all of a sudden this gameplay demo starts, and Kratos, it's a completely different game. It's third person, over the shoulder. It almost looks like the Last of Us style gameplay. So it's him and his son running out into the forest. He's trying to teach his son how to hunt, but his son fails. He tries to hit a deer and he misses. Kratos gets pissed at him. Then all of a sudden monsters appear. So Kratos starts fighting. It's third person kind of swinging combat with this axe that has some kind of ice ability built into it. So he's freezing his enemies, chopping them up. And they head further into the forest, tracking down this deer. All of a sudden, a billion monsters show. So he's fighting all these monsters. A giant monster shows up, and it says something about Valhalla. And then I made the connection. I was like, this is different. This isn't the Greek gods or the Roman gods. This is the Norse gods. That's what this game is based on. So he's fighting this giant monster, and it almost looks like a combination of gameplay, like a third-person action game, and almost like Dark Souls, where the enemies are doing these big, telegraphed moves. You have to dodge around them and then hit them from behind, and it was a pretty cool fight against this giant thing. He eventually executes it or whatever, and then him and his son walk on, and there's a little bit more gameplay. I don't want to go too much into it in super detail or anything, but holy shit. And then it just says God of War, so we don't know if it's a reboot. We don't know if this is a continuation of the series, but a totally different style of game, because the gameplay is very different from the other God of War games. I don't know, but everyone was surprised and blown away, and that's just how they opened the show, okay? Then they showed a new game, a new IP. It's called Days Gone. Now, I'm just going to go into detail about the game because they actually showed a trailer for it, then a bunch of other stuff. Then at the end of the press conference, they showed gameplay. I'm just going to show you what the game's like now, rather than split it up. So Days Gone is about this biker, and I guess his biker friends, who it's a post-apocalyptic world, think kind of like The Last of Us, where everything's destroyed, and apparently humanity has been taken over by some kind of a sickness or a virus. They're rabid, they're mutated, and the way I can best describe this, it seems like World War Z, where this guy's going around trying to survive in a world with no electricity and all of that, because everything's gone to shit. And in the gameplay demo, he follows some guys, chasing some guy to like what looks to be almost like a lumber yard, where they used to process that kind of stuff. And he's chasing them through the yard. Then all of a sudden, these monsters, they're not really zombies, they're monsters, like ravenous humans show up. And it's hundreds, if not thousands of them are showing up, a la the movie World War Z, if you've ever seen it. And so this action sequence is the main character running away from these millions of zombies, and he has to basically use his environment, because there's no way that he could kill them all with the gun he has. So he's shooting explosive barrels, and he's dodging around, and finally he gets to this choke point where he's on top of this kind of almost a silo, and they're coming from two different directions, and then it ends. It's like, oh my god, it was crazy. It was like a combination of Uncharted gameplay with zombies, like survival horror zombies. So it was, again, almost like The Last of Us. It was quite interesting. It's from a studio I've never heard of. I think Bend Studios or something like that. Apparently they made Siphon Filter, which I never played. So it looks freaking good. On to the next blockbuster. So last year we found out The Last Guardian is still alive. Okay. This year they showed it. The graphics completely overhauled. Looks nothing like it used to. The main character is cel-shaded now. Nothing else is. So it's kind of a really stark contrast. There's a lot of now light and darkness variables in the game. Even the big beast that you're trying to like befriend looks like it's dark now, which is really weird. It doesn't look cute at all like it used to. And they show some gameplay, but not too much. I guess they didn't want to give too much away. The biggest news, it's coming out in October. It comes out October 25th, 2016. After how, 8-9 years in development? It was supposed to be one of the early titles for PS3. It's finally fucking coming out. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, mark that. Boom, right on the calendar. Boom, big ass fucking stamp. I'll be playing that on October 25th. Finally, we get to try it out and find out if it's any good. Holy shit. All right, on to the next blockbuster. Horizon Zero Dawn. We saw this last year. It's this game about, again, almost looks like prehistoric times, and the protagonist is actually a red-headed cave woman almost, but not really, because there's robots all over the world, and these robots, you actually now use this ability. It's called a scanning ability. You look at the robot and you analyze it. It tells you what it's weak against, where the weak points are. It's really cool, and then you go off in third-person action combat and you try to take it out, and it looks like some robots you can tame, so you can actually ride them. Some robots you can steal parts from, and you can use them for upgrades and stuff later, while some it's just like mini-bosses that you gotta take down. And there's this big sequence of her doing action gameplay against these robots, and it looked absolutely great. I really want to play this game, and it wasn't announced immediately, but at the end of the press conference, it said it's coming out February 28th, 2017. Sweet. I mean, right now, February of next year is starting to look like an insanely good month for gaming, if you know what I mean, with all the stuff we've seen at these press conferences. Holy shit. All right, up next, Quantic Dream takes their shot with their new game, Detroit Become Human. Now, we didn't really have any information about this game until today. Now we know what it is. It's a futuristic setting. Droids or androids are now part of human culture. You've got androids that serve humans, androids that are detectives, and apparently this scenario that is for this gameplay kind of trailer is that you are an android, or you at least control an android, that's being sent in to investigate a hostage situation. Apparently another android has gone haywire and has a girl and is holding her hostage on a rooftop. So you walk in and immediately start to reason with the guy. He's not listening. You try to stop him. He jumps over the ledge with the girl and they both die. You're like, wow, that was a bad outcome. But then it says, but that's not it. That's not where it stops. In this game, there's multiple branching paths based on many decisions. Dialogue options, equipment loadouts, the clues you find. So they actually show, oh, I found blood on this spot. Oh, it's blue blood, so now I know that he's an android, he's not a human, and I can't really reason with him within human means. Oh, look, I decided to take my gun into the hostage situation, or I didn't take my gun into the hostage situation. And all these variables create different outcomes, and they showed many different outcomes. They showed one outcome where you shoot the guy, and he just dies, but you save the girl. One outcome, he shoots you, and you die. In one outcome, you reason with him, and he puts the girl down, but then snipers take him out. In one outcome, you charge him and knock him off the ledge. The girl survives, but the two of you die. So that's right there, what, 5, 6 different outcomes for the same part of the game. That's only one part. Imagine if this game has like 12 cases and all these different ways you could solve them and multiple different outcomes. It could be one of the most replayable games ever. I love these games by David Cage. I always have. Some people hate them. I like them. I thought it looked outstanding. So I say thumbs up. I can't wait for more information. Unfortunately, no information on a release for that one. That sucked. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the next part of the conference that I'm about to describe was the bombshell for me. Like, this one, I stood erect on my fucking tripod dick when this one happened. I was so fucking excited. I jackhammered myself up on my dickhead because, holy shit. First they say it's PSVR. This whole segment that they're about to reveal is going to be games that are going to be supporting PSVR. Now, am I a huge proponent of VR? Fuck no. In fact, I'm one of the biggest skeptics of it. But in the VR war, the one that's affordable to me is PSVR. For $400, I can buy the VR headset, the headphones that come with it, the little box that you need to hook up to your PS4. I'll have the means to have, direct capture from the television feed for the streaming and my stuff. I'll be able to do VR. I'm excited. all right? I'm getting PSVR at launch. I've already pre-ordered it. So to hear what games were actually going to be for it, I'm pumped because the bottom line is, and I said this months ago, whoever wins the VR war is going to be determined by pricing and games. Those are the two critical factors that gamers will be looking for. So they open up, and there's no hint whatsoever what you're looking at. There's a guy who wakes up, first person, he's looking around, he's in an attic, a dark attic, and all he has is like a flashlight in front of him, I guess guided by where you're looking with your head. You see old shit in the attic, you look, there's mannequins to the left, they almost like jump scare you, a little scared at them, like what the fuck is that? So you go down this crickety staircase, you end up walking around the house, the whole house is decrepit, right? Looks like it's falling apart. Head into the kitchen, there's bugs everywhere, you open up this thing that looks like stew, and it doesn't even know what it is. It could be flesh, and there's bugs coming out of it, you're like, And I said, gee, if I was playing this in VR, I'd be shoving my hands in and put my face in the fucking bot if you can, and see what happens. But I digress. So you keep looking around the house, all of a sudden a guy walks across the doorway quickly, you're like, and then all of a sudden it kind of cuts away, and it shows a guy in a wheelchair, and some music plays, and all of a sudden it says V11, so 7. And then all of a sudden around that a logo appears, Resident Evil, the V11 turns into the VIL of Resident Evil. It's Resident Evil 7 is coming out, and it's fully supported by PlayStation VR. You can play the entirety of the game from start to finish in PlayStation VR, which leads me to believe it's not going to be anything like the run-and-gun games we've been playing, like 4, 5, and 6. They're throwing that shit out. It's going to be first-person survival horror. It's going to be way fucking different than those other games, I think. And apparently, it's coming out in January 24th, 2017, and an even bigger bombshell, the demo is available tonight. What? Yeah, it's available. We have nothing about this fucking game. It's available tonight. Holy shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing now? Stop watching this video immediately. Go play the demo and come back. All right, don't do that. Watch. Well, you know what? I don't even care. Go do it if you need to. Pause the video and come back. I'm playing the demo. I'm playing it tomorrow. I'll tell you right now, I can't play it tonight. By the time I finish this video and upload, it's going to be too late. First thing fucking tomorrow, I'm playing this Resident Evil 7 demo. Like, no way am I missing out on that shit. Absolutely 100%. Holy crap. What a fucking bombshell. And I'm telling you, it looks nothing like Resident Evil. It's like pure survival horror. Nothing like run and gun Resident Evil. My God. Alright, so anyway, let me continue before I explode here. Then they say the PSVR is releasing on October 13th for $400, the base set. Keep in mind, $400 is just for the headset, the headphones, and the box to hook it up to your PlayStation 4. You do need the PlayStation camera from the launch of the PS4 to use the PlayStation VR. So if you don't have it, you have to go buy it. I have it. I bought it at the launch of PS4, so I'm good, luckily. They said there will be 50 games that support the PSVR by the end of 2016, and then they go on to name some of them. One of them is called Far Point. It is a first-person exploration game with some horror and sci-fi elements. You're apparently an astronaut that's out in space exploring uncharted planets, and you're on this planet that looks like Mars, lots of a desert. Then all of a sudden, aliens are coming up, big monsters are coming up, you gotta shoot them with this gun. Looked pretty interesting. Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR mission. You're in an X-Wing flying around. But you say X-Wing VR mission, that doesn't sound like a full game, right? And then coming up next, Batman Arkham VR. Shows no gameplay whatsoever, it's just Mark Hamill talking as the Joker. Okay? And you're like, what could this be? But it says it's made by Rocksteady. Right? Then they say, oh, Final Fantasy 15 VR mission. And now at this point, I start to understand what's going on. And they show Final Fantasy 15, they show gameplay. It's Final Fantasy 15 gameplay, but you're in first person fighting a boss. And I'm thinking, I know exactly what this is. Don't be fooled. All right, everyone? These aren't full games. What Sony did is they went out to what they feel are their best third-party game developers, and they said, we really want to launch a VR. Please, if you could create experiences for your games, but it doesn't have to be a full game, I almost guarantee you these things will be at most a couple hours long. Now, not Resident Evil 7. They said the whole game's playable. That's different. But, like I said, these other games, like Star Wars and Final Fantasy and Batman, I am not expecting full game experiences, but I think what they want to do is show you, if you're going to buy a VR, are you going to spend $600 to $700, $800 on Oculus Rift plus a fucking PC to play shit games? Or are you going to spend $400 on the PlayStation VR and play these amazing gameplay experiences of games you already love? And I think they're going to fucking win. I'm serious. Like, this strategy is exactly how you get the mainstream gamer to buy in. Here's good shit you already like. Now play it in VR and understand how VR is an immersive experience. It could be bad, it could be good. I'll be telling you firsthand because I will be covering all of that later this year once PSVR hits. October is going to be white fucking hot. I cannot wait. And I hope you'll join me for that stuff. But I digress. What an amazing presentation that they're going to be doing all this stuff in VR, right? Holy fuck. Then, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare they show in VR. And it looks just like the regular game because the regular game is in first person. So really in that regard, it's not very impressive. It's hilarious because they show gameplay where you're in outer space, right? You're shooting guys in outer space. You're using a grappling hook to rappel around space. All these explosions. It sounds like you're playing regular Call of Duty. There's bullet sounds, explosions. Earth to Infinity War. In space, there's no oxygen, meaning there's no air, which means there's no fucking sound. None of that would happen. It would literally be like, just like a... That's what you would hear. So maybe don't make a fucking game in space, assholes, because it's so fucking stupid. Like, I don't know, like they think you're so dumb. But anyway, it doesn't look good. I was not impressed by any of the gameplay of this game. And then they said, yes, of course, the remaster of Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare will be available with the game if you buy it. And then they said the campaign is available 30 days early on PlayStation 4. To which I rubbed my nose, I scratched my head. I'm like, what does that mean? And they never explained it. It was never elaborated. Does that mean if you buy this game on Xbox One, in Infinite Warfare, if you buy it on Xbox One, do you not get the campaign for the first month? Only PlayStation 4 owners get the campaign? What the fuck is that about? That's fucking ridiculous. I don't know. It's not clear. But that's what they said in the press conference. Maybe it was misinformation, but that's what I saw. Okay? Then, Crash Bandicoot, one of the guy who's in charge of the show walks on. But rather, I don't even know the name of the guy who's in charge of the show because he was out so little and said so little. Again, they're just going from game to game. They're not bothering with all the talk. It was a great press conference because of that. But anyway, he walks out. He's in a background that looks just like Crash Bandicoot. He's got the shadow of Crash, and he makes two announcements. The first is that Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and Warped, which I think are 1, 2, and 3, are being remastered for the PlayStation 4 from the ground up, similar to how, say, Ratchet & Clank recently was. So, the classic Crash games being remastered on PlayStation 4. Sucks that I played the first two already, right? Then he announces Crash will be coming to Skylanders this October, and also you'll be able to make your own Skylander for the first time, and the crowd goes, oh, because everyone thought it was going to be a new Crash Bandicoot game, not a remaster or remake and fucking Skylanders bullshit. We all expected it was going to be a new Crash game. Nope. Now, however, I would be willing to say, I bet if this remaster trilogy sells well and they're convinced that there's enough interest in a new Crash game, they probably will make one. But for now, I think they want to be apprehensive. I mean, it's been a long time since we had Crash. They probably want to be a little bit conservative and see if there's interest, and if there is, then go for it. Alright, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, they had a trailer for it, and they announced the demo is out now. Even though the full game is out in 2 weeks, it's nice that there's a demo out available right now. For a lot of people, the next part was a bombshell. I don't know why, because it was already announced, but Hideo Kojima was there, and then we already know that Kojima was hired by Sony, and he works exclusively for Sony now, so I don't know why this was a big announcement or whatever. He comes out, he says, I have a trailer to show you. A brand new game. Here it is, Sony exclusive. So they start playing it, and immediately it looks like you're thinking Silent Hills, because it's on a beach, and you see all these dead crabs and dead things on the beach, and you're thinking, what? And then the text, it starts showing text, but it looks like there's blood dribbling from the text, so you're like, this is going to be survival horror. This is going to be Silent Hills, but we know it can't be Silent Hills, because he left Konami, so what's this going to be? Then all of a sudden, they pan up, there's a baby, a man goes down to the beach, grabs the baby, picks it up to his chest, they pan up, it's Norman Reedus! Yes, Norman Reedus, who is supposed to be the star of Silent Hills, is now starring in Hideo Kojima's new game. So the guy's naked, he's holding the baby, all of a sudden the baby disappears, his hands are covered in black goo, all of a sudden baby handprints in black goo appear all over his body, he looks up, there appear to be 4 to 5 like hovering things, you don't know if it's people or anything, way in the background of the beach, and then the title splashes, Death Stranding, and then it just ends. This is coming soon from Hideo Kojima, and you're like, so you be the judge for yourself. Watch the trailer for yourself. I was confused. If it's survival horror, or even like a psychological kind of game with puzzles and stuff, great. But I don't know what the fuck it is from that. I'm assuming he's trying to go forward with the kind of project he wanted to do with Silent Hills, so I guess we'll see. Now, the next portion of the conference was as amazing as it was confusing. Allow me to explain. Spider-Man is back. They show Spider-Man in this new outfit. I don't know if it's supposed to be like his new modern comic outfit because I haven't read the comics recently. But he's swinging through the city. He's doing combat on vehicles. It looks great. And by the way, it's not a fucking movie tie-in. So unlike those last two games, maybe we'll finally get back to great Spider-Man games. You remember when I started here on YouTube and we had Spider-Man Web of Shadows and Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and then there was that other game that wasn't as good, but it was the cross between Spider-Man 2099 and Modern Spider-Man. Those were pretty good. It wasn't, you know, the last one wasn't amazing, but they were still good. Then the two movie games came out. I liked the first one, hated the second one. So it's like, when are we going to get more Spider-Man? Apparently now, because it says it's coming. But here's what got me. No release date, but all it said, they didn't even give us the name of the game. It just said, hashtag Spider-Man PS4. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that it's a PS4 exclusive? That would be huge. Does that mean that it just comes out beforehand on like a timed exclusive on PS4? Because we don't even know what the name of the game is yet. So it was kind of like just a confusing thing. You didn't really know what the hell was going on. But awesome to see Spider-Man return. And then to end the show, they showed gameplay of Days Gone, which I already described for you. So let me just recap for you. God of War's coming back in a totally new kind of game. We don't know, what it is, but it's a totally new game engine. Days Gone, an amazing, what looks to be action survival horror biker game. Last Guardian's coming out in October, finally. Horizon Zero Dawn gameplay looked amazing. It comes out in February. Quantic Dream's new game, Detroit Become Human, looks good, but we don't have any more info on it yet. PlayStation VR is going to support Resident Evil 7 fully, and Resident Evil 7 is coming out in January, and the demo's out tonight. PlayStation VR will support 50 games by the end of the year. Farpoint, Star Wars Battlefront, X-Wing VR mission, Batman Arkham VR, Final Fantasy 15 VR mission, and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare all have stuff for PlayStation VR. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare will apparently have the campaign 30 days early on PS4, whatever that means. Crash Bandicoot 1 and 3 are being remastered for PS4, and he'll be in Skylanders as of October. Kojima is working with Sony, making a new game called Death Stranding, starring Norman Reedus. Spider-Man's coming to PS4. What the fuck? Like, everything was good. Name one thing there that's, like, insanely bad. I mean, every other conference you can say, well, if you watched EA, you had to go through the sports bullshit. Well, if you watch Ubisoft, you had to kind of put up with their stupid shit with Just Dance and all their fucking, the Division and the stuff that's really not that interesting. And even Microsoft, even though I thought they had a good press conference, right? Even Microsoft, they had to take the top. We got to push Minecraft down your throat. And all about VR with this and that. No, they were just like, fuck that shit. We're not even going to talk that much. We're just going to go boom, 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 heavy hitter after heavy fucking hitter. That is how you hold a fucking E3 press conference. Again, Sony has done it and blown it out of the park. And just based off of this, I know tomorrow I'm playing the Resident Evil 7 demo. Just because of the press conference. That's it. I don't care what else happens. I'm playing Resident Evil 7 demo tomorrow. 100%. I can't fucking wait. I'm so super pumped for it, okay? That was an amazing press conference. I'm now pumped. What I need to now do, based off of these press conferences, is go through my gaming calendar and populate, because there's a lot of new stuff, new information that we've got coming out for the rest of this year. I am so excited, man. What an E3 so far. Now, since this is the final video I'm doing for Monday's coverage of E3, today is the 13th? Yeah, the 13th of June. FYI, supposedly Square Enix is going to be streaming lots of gameplay and stuff tomorrow, as well as Nintendo. Nintendo isn't even doing a formal conference or even a Nintendo Direct. They're just going to be doing gameplay during the day, alright? I don't think I'm going to cover it. I don't think I'm going to do a video like this for it, because there's nothing concrete to cover, alright? However, later this week, okay, probably starting tomorrow night and then working into Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be, Wednesday and Thursday, what I meant to say. I'm going to be working on my best and worst of E3 countdown series for KO Gaming. And I am going to look and watch some gameplay from those games. Zelda in particular, I'm very interested to see gameplay from this new Zelda, which we haven't really seen yet. I want to see what else Nintendo has. I want to see what Square Enix has besides just Final Fantasy, which we've seen a lot of already. So I'm very interested. And then I'm going to put whatever I find from those into this series that I'm going to put on KO Gaming later this week. Alright? So I think this is it for the vlog-style E3 coverage. There was EA. There was Bethesda. There was Microsoft, Ubisoft, and Sony. If there were more official press conferences, I would have done it. There just aren't. They're just going to be showing gameplay all week. So I'll do my best to do the research myself and come back to you with information later in the week. That will be on youtube.com/KO Gaming 1. Thank you for watching my E3 coverage for this year. I surely hope that you enjoyed it and you found it informative. This week's going to be crazy now because just this week, think about it. Resident Evil 7 demo. Earlier today we found out Halo Wars 2 has a beta. I'm checking that out. There may be one or two other things being, announced or released this week. There usually are. Plus other stuff I'll be doing like, more Witcher 3, probably more Persona 4. It's going to be a crazy fun week. This is why I love E3. Because stuff happens like this and then you just, wow, I cannot wait to play the demo, Alright, everyone. Thank you for watching my Sony recap and reactions. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later. Hope to see you for all the new gameplay coverage on DSP Gaming this week and for my Countdown series later this week on KO Gaming. Peace out.